No, it was hatred. You can use that word. It was definite hatred.
Hi, David.
Hi, Lupe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So, why did you want to make this movie? Did you feel like you had something to prove?
I did. I didn't really know why I wanted to make the movie. I knew I had something to prove. I came out of a surgery and I just told my wife, I've been thinking a lot about wrestling. She was like, "What are you talking about, wrestling?" So she didn't really get where I was coming from. I went to a guy named Bryn Mooser at XTR, and he was like, I think this is an interesting story. And uh, and then Christina thankfully got on board because nothing in this film would have happened if she hadn't. She really is the one who deserves the championship belt at the end of this. Um, but yeah, I wanted to just, make a love letter to wrestling and figure out why the fans were so mad at me and properly train and then just wrestle, become part of something I've loved my whole life.
And in the movie, you clear up the fact that this is not when you won the championship. It's not really what you wanted. But they said, "Hey, let's ante up the stakes and have you win this thing," right?
Yeah, I'd done one show and it got a good response. And Vince Russo, who was the head writer and booker over there, decided to make me the champion. I thought it was a bad idea at first, but then I figured that I'd be able to travel with all these guys and become part of the whole group. And it wasn't well received by the fans, and it lasted 20 years. And I sort of did this movie to answer them. But I figured in the long run, I really was talking to myself. I needed to love myself and believe in myself.
In the beginning, you feel really bad watching you because you're not getting the warm reception. I mean, you didn't expect it, but the way you're being treated is like, oh wow, there really is this, and I don't want to call it hatred, but dislike over that happened so many years ago. It sounds ridiculous, right?
Yeah, no, it was hatred. You can use that word. It was definite hatred. I took Christina to a match once and she saw a bunch of fans being mean to me. And she was like, "I can't believe they treat you so badly." I was like, "No, I know. It's just something about what I did to wrestling." So there was that animosity that I wanted to address.
Things really turned around when you went to Tijuana, Mexico, and you did lucha libre. And I really particularly liked that one, that part of the movie, because they took you in, and it was such quite the opposite reaction that you had here in the States.
Yeah, it was really, it was really heartwarming experience to go to Tijuana and wrestle the lucha libre style, to learn from them. It was, I don't know, it's so close to my heart. I mean, there's such a love for wrestling uh, there, and they treat it with just, it's generational. People have gone to these matches with their parents and grandparents, and now they're going with their kids. There's this whole element of that. Even the wrestlers in the streets of Tijuana who are wrestling for money, they they do that on their spare time, and then at night they're in the biggest arena in all of Tijuana wrestling, lucha libre style. So it was really humbling. It was really beautiful to see, to learn the sort of style down there. And I did something that we were baby faces, so I did something that was a little mean in the match where I got carried away and I clotheslined the referee, and I had to go around to each side of the ring and say and apologize and say, I'm so sorry to each side of the ring, because because we were the good guys and you can't do something like that.
Yeah.
So just to that depth of like really honoring it was really a joy.
And you got your signature move, which you used here in wrestling, and it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to watch you learn that trick.
Oh yeah, that's called a hurricanrana, or a leg scissors, head leg scissors or something. Yeah, so It was. It's a move that you can combine into a lot of different moves, so it can open your wrestling sort of knowledge up a lot.
And in one scene, you get very emotional, and I think as a viewer myself, we got emotional when one of the luchadores gave you one of his masks. I mean, that's a big honor.
Yeah, it sure that was Il Plantino gave me his mask, and uh, I don't. It was really touching. It was I don't know, just to learn from these guys and be hanging out with them and their love for wrestling. There was a moment where when we weren't filming, they were all just sort of mat wrestling, and they call it chain wrestling, and we just saw them kind of continue. It was like, just do it for hours, and they just loved it. You know, it was just this. I don't know. There's just a love for wrestling with the Luchadores that when I got that mask, it really touched me. There's also an incredible museum up there, the Molme Museum in Tijuana. That is just incredible. That also gave me such a knowledge and love for wrestling.
But in the end, did you feel like you grew?
I did. I felt like I learned a lot. I felt like I healed a lot. And I felt like I built up some confidence, you know, the kind of confidence you need just to attack the world we live in.
All right, David, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was going to be this gimmicky kind of thing, but it actually was very endearing to watch. So,
Thank you, Lupe.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, David. Bye.